In news this week, church leaders concerned over children in detention report. New research debunks the myth that a little alcohol is good for you. And America's largest Christian bookstore chain files for bankruptcy.
This is InFocus Christian News and Current Affairs.
In an horrific video posted online, militants claiming loyalty to the Islamic State terror group have beheaded 21 Egyptian Christian hostages in Libya. For some weeks, Egyptians have been protesting the kidnappings, demanding that their government take action to rescue the hostages. According to news.com.au, the militants made their religious motivations clear, saying the killings are a message to crusaders and nations of the cross. In response, Egypt declared 7 days of mourning. A report on the plight of children in immigration detention has triggered heated political debate, as well as statements of concern from Australian church leaders. The Forgotten Children report from Australia's Human Rights Commission outlines the mental and emotional distress experienced by minors in immigration detention. Over a period of 15 months, 233 physical assaults involving children were recorded, as well as 33 sexual assaults. Both the Uniting and Anglican churches have spoken out about the issues the report raises. Sydney Anglican Archbishop Dr. Glenn Davies says the political bickering has got in the way of what should be a bipartisan debate. The common belief that a little alcohol is good for you has taken another hit from a major study published by the British Medical Journal. A number of previous studies appear to show that occasional drinkers live longer than non-drinkers, but the new study found that evidence of the protective effect of alcohol all but vanished when former drinkers were taken out of the sample. The researchers suggest that poor health has caused many former drinkers to give up the grog and then drag down the average life expectancy of the non-drinking group.
We're still convinced that alcohol is a toxic substance. Even if there's little elements of protective resveratrol, for example, it's not a smart way to get it. I think the case for abstinence is much, much stronger than any case you could ever build for moderation.
As church organisations and other institutions are facing criticism during Australia's Royal Commission, Roman Catholic leaders in Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands have released a new sexual abuse complaints policy. According to the ABC, the policy encourages victims to come forward and outlines clear steps for investigating claims of abuse. Church leaders say reporting abuse in Melanesian cultures is difficult, as there is an unwillingness to criticise authority figures or shame the church.
People are very reticent to bring claims against a body like the church or a priest, and more particularly in rural areas, and this is what we're concerned about. We're aware that obviously problems do happen in rural areas. It's probably more easier to cover them up, and yet we're trying to help people become aware of these issues, the importance of them, the need to deal with them, and the need to open up about them.
A free medical outreach service is providing for health needs in some of Port Moresby's most disadvantaged areas. An initiative of the Filipino Adventist community, the City Healthcare Clinic takes doctors, dentists and other volunteers to churches of different denominations every month. At the churches, one of which is in Port Moresby's Bamana prison, the health professionals provide free assessment and treatment for a range of health issues. The group is excited about the impact they're having and have plans to expand the program. And still in the Pacific, training has begun for radio announcers and producers to bring gospel messages to the people of Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. The initial training event was coordinated by Adventist World Radio, together with local church leaders in Solomon Islands' capital, Honiara. According to the Solomon Star, 27 radio hopefuls attended the training, with organisers saying the first new radio station should be on air within 6 months. In a shock for the Christian retail industry, America's largest Christian bookstore franchise has filed for bankruptcy, saying it has been overwhelmed by debt.
So the question is, how did we get into this position? The first is the recession of 08 and 09 that hit so many businesses in this country and others so hard. The second is the digital revolution, books and music and movies are being purchased in different ways these days. And the last is that the company took on too much debt.
Family Christian Stores has 266 shop fronts across the USA, which it hopes it will be allowed by the courts to keep open while it tries to get back on its feet. The violence-torn nation of Nigeria has postponed general and presidential elections for 6 weeks. With authorities concerned, voters will be attacked by Boko Haram extremists. According to Christian Today, church leaders have welcomed the delay, saying that security needs to be assured and there will now be more time for everyone to receive their voting cards. But the Seventh-day Adventist Church has warned that its members will not be participating in the Sabbath elections, the day when, in obedience to the Bible, Adventists typically do not engage in civic or business activities. Despite repeated requests, the government has refused to move the elections to another day of the week, or to make provisions for those who have religious or other objections to voting on a Saturday. A German toy company has been surprised by the popularity of its latest plastic figurine of Martin Luther. Playmobil figurines are a common sight in German kids' bedrooms and kindergartens. But the Martin Luther figurines exceeded all expectations, with 34,000 of them selling out in just 72 hours. Awareness of Martin Luther's place in history is growing as the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation approaches. 2017 marks 5 centuries since the dissident monk nailed his 95 Theses to the Wittenberg Cathedral door. And that's it from InFocus News this week. God bless, and I'll see you again next time.